computer. Share screen, optimize sound. All right.
Screen is shared.
Screen is shared. Go ahead. Take it away, Roland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Saber Light Nights, Fight Nights. We are now doing Fight Night 20, and this is going to be fun. We got a really quick couple of fights here tonight that we just put together. Hope you enjoy it. We also have Fode from the SMAF, Saber Martial Arts Foundation, joining us tonight. So we're really pleased to have him, as well as myself and Mr. Ryan McKenna. So let's watch some fights.
So stoked. Thanks for inviting me. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Excited to see these.
I haven't seen you guys in a while, so
Right.
It'll be nice to watch. Like, I watch your fights that you post. Obviously, we were just talking about that, but
Yeah.
it'll be nice to watch some stuff that it's fresh.
Yeah.
So first fight
So
we
is
got
this
Michael
all
Sprague.
standard?
No,
Yeah,
this will be standard, and then there'll be one or two exotic fights.
Yeah.
Normally at the end. So the first one we got is Michael Sprague versus Robert Wharton. And I haven't watched this in about a week, so I've already forgot what happened here. But Michael Sprague is a big guy. He's got a lot of martial arts experience. And Robert is a younger guy. I think he's 26 years old, who does a bunch of Dagomir, which is like foam weapon fighting. But he's been doing it for many years, and he is quick and tall, and he's a very good fighter.
Okay.
Yep. And we're generally using a Saber Light Night rule set over TSL. So things like hands, fingers count, hilts count. But
Yo, I love that. And I know that kind of recently, I think you guys had one of the TSL ladies on. Somebody, I guess, TSL Virginia Charter, maybe. And she seemed very surprised and maybe slightly chagrined that fingers and the whole hilt was a target. But I had to giggle when she expressed her shock and awe, we'll say. And just because I value those targets so much as a fighter, they're high percentage points.
Well, especially for somebody like me who's short. I'm fighting these tall guys.
especially these two beasts.
Normally I'm going for a wrist.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how tall you are, but I'm about 5'6", 5'7" on my tallest days. So
Yeah, I'm 5'8" if I stretch, and versus Sprague, who's Sprague is 6 foot.
Yeah, he's got to be over 6 foot. He's got to be like 6'2".
6'2", yeah. And
so
Robert's,
what's the gentleman on the right again?
That's
in the red shorts?
Robert Wharton. So he's the Dagomir young 26, whereas Michael Sprague's
older guy,
5,
something like that. Yeah.
So his name is Robert. It's funny. I was just thinking, his fighting style reminds me a lot of Robert Chun from San Diego Sabers, who's a Form 2 stylist, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of his fights on our show and whatnot. But Robert has, like, I don't want to say a lazy Form 2 because it's super precise and very, very fast. But he sort of lulls you to sleep in that Muhammad Ali sort of fashion, where he just sets you up with the combos, but in between it looks like he's not really trying anything. And I see that on the right here with this other Robert that you guys are sparring with.
Yeah. See, I like the fact that he's tall, but he's staying lower and coming in almost for uppercuts. He's coming in underneath, and so it makes it really interesting as opposed to a taller guy reaching down on top of you. Yeah.
And both of these guys have very disparate body types, we'll say.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So Michael on the left, though, his fighting style is actually kind of similar, maybe a little more refined, and I don't mean that in a bad way for either of them, but they're actually kind of mirroring each other a little bit, and it's neat.
Yeah. Sprague used to be a power hitter. He used to freaking swing for the fences, and he's begun to really just use the point work, and now he's dangerous as crap because he can reach all the way out and touch you from way back because he's so big, because he's so tall, and so it's a sewing machine when you're going up against Sprague. He's zoom, 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 and that's just dangerous.
I can see that in some of the, like, people sometimes think flourishing and the X spin or infinity type spins, that they're like, they're all flash, and it's true, they're mostly flash. But if you got a gentleman like Michael here who can stop it at the very end of the arc and then switch the direction just using his wrist and his elbow, that's taking it to a new level now.
Yeah, that's
taking
man.
it to a new level. Yeah.
He almost in our tournament, he almost knocked me out round 1. I was expecting,
Oh, really?
for the Hills Sprig, and I got Dancing Sprig, and that was more than I expected.
Dancing Sprig is scary.
So there's multiple Sprigs. That's a good thing to know. I hope people listening and watching understand that it's okay to do multiple fighting styles as long as you actually practice all of them.
Yeah. And you'll find that what's funny is some of us will be sort of starting in a sort of version, and it's still the version of us, but he'll be doing one thing, and then through the fight, as he's graduating and learning about what the other guy's doing, he'll switch styles to whatever is necessary. And so it's really fun to, as it progresses, where is he going?
And isn't that sort of the constant pursuit of like a fighter? Yes, a martial artist, obviously, like if you're treating it sort of traditionally or whatever, but as just a fighter, aren't you always kind of looking to like change things up just enough this way, just enough that way, just to see if it works, and if it doesn't, walk it back, try again? Like that's the dream, is to constantly all the time be doing that. And you're right, sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes stagnancy people think means that you're getting better, but I think people who are trying to pay attention to, like, just like you said, just changing little things, same version of you, just slightly different version of what you're doing. It's kind of a cool way to see progression.
Right. And see, the context matters in those types of situations. It's like, look, I may want to be a linear fighter, especially against this guy. And I may want to stay linear for him because that puts the pressure on him. However, there's another guy that I'm fighting against where I may be linear at the very beginning, but I'll switch and go around and around and around. And then maybe I'll come back to it just to disrupt. And it's about the disruptions, and it's about the evolution and context of the individual fight. That's where it does take that sort of fight awareness, that fight sensitivity, that tactile nature of it to begin to go, oh, this guy, I don't need to do anything. I can stay in this zone and do this and really begin to work, whatever it is. I have, I've found some rhythms, and I've found some things that I can pick apart here and there. Those are the things that I think that are really important to one of basics, my footwork, my blade work, my timing, all the rest of that. Once I've got those under control and I've got a couple decent sort of hooked moves that I can, throughout, now I can graduate to, okay, this guy's bringing something to the table that I'm not expecting. How do I change what I do?
Right.
That's really that's great.
Without changing who I am or what I do as a overall martial artist. Yeah, I like the way you broke that down.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we got Ryan on the docket now, huh?
Yeah. Ryan versus Robert, and
same Robert.
And Robert brings the pressure because he's, again, really tall, long, lean, fast.
All right. Messed up. Give me a second.
That's all good.
There we go.
All good. If I had a nickel for every time I messed up.
All fixed. We're good.
Yeah.
I'd be Elon Musk by now.
Lazy use glass.
So Ryan, you've got a very forward stance, which I think is kind of neat. You don't often see that in Makashi these days. A lot of times you'll see a very upright stance or a very back stance, and I like seeing that forward intention.
For me to do what I do, I need to have the room to do so. So I push in very, very hard at the beginning usually.
And I see you mixing a little bit of Form 5 in there.
Yep.
We smell our own.
Yeah.
That said, Form 2 is my home. Where I'm most comfortable.
Form 2 is the granddaddy of Form 5 in many respects. So I can tell in some of the ways that the ways you're going for the blade manipulation, the ways that you're taking certain guards that might bait the person into making a little mistake here or there that you can exploit. It's definitely very Form 2, but I can almost see that there's like a little devious grin under your fencing mask. You know what I mean?
Especially when he's doing his little dance.
That Gemso grin.
Yeah. You saw,
And then
that
a lot
little
of
dance he was
so
doing.
during COVID, a lot of my training.
Ooh.
One of my good friends is was a Division I fencer, started fencing at 6 years of age, and I learned a lot from him in the past year.
There you go. Take whatever instruction you can get, put it through your filter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Alan was maybe on your show saying like, I can't remember if it was our show or your show, saying sometimes like any lesson is a good lesson, even a bad lesson can be a good lesson.
Yeah.
You know,
losing, being willing to quote unquote lose, and you still are learning from it.
How many people say that though and truly don't understand what they're saying, right?
Right.
Like, how many people that you really know who compete a lot are really okay with losing? Let's remember, guys, we're not like, there's no $1 million prize package on the line. There's no purse, whether you get knocked out or not. Like, you're just fighting with nerd sticks and trying to make it look like you know what you're doing from the training that you received in the past and present. So I feel like if we're losing sight of that, we really need to take a step back and say, remember, we're doing this because we want to be Jedi.
Exactly. I mean, we talked about it like actually just last night at the next fight that we're going to be reviewing. One of the things is like, look, we're just a bunch of freaking kids playing tag. Kids playing tag. We're having fun. We're playing. And what great way to get really good exercise for us old farts. And really enjoy this. And it's just really fun. I learn so much, even when I lose. And I lose to Ryan, and I lose to Adam, and I lose to everybody that we fight. And I don't mind because this gave me a new insight on how I can work this.
Exactly. And, I see like sometimes people have a hard time figuring out like control. That's one of the hardest things to figure out when you take up a combat sport or martial art. And it's actually one of the hardest things to do in any athletic endeavor, any artistic endeavor, is to control yourself in some way, So when you take a lightsaber or a toy, we'll say, like this, and it's something that you don't need all that power to hit each other with, then you can really sharpen up your technique in such a big way. And win or lose, isn't that winning?
That is exactly. And that's why
the ability to control yourself and to use all the tools from your prior training and your current training in the toolkit at kind of like as you're going, it's like, if you don't see that as progress, if you need to hit people hard to see the progress, like, I don't know, maybe take up kickboxing, maybe stop doing lightsaber fighting.
And maybe I don't want to play with you if I come away with that.
That's true too.
True.
Yeah, like what kid in the neighborhood liked to play with the kid who would pick up the stick and go, let's play swords, and just whack you in the face? Like, nobody.
No,
nobody.
I'm done.
Everybody wanted the kid who wanted to play Errol Flynn in the yard.
Yes. Yep. Exactly right.
Michael Sprague versus Graham Farnsworth. Now, those are some awesome epic names.
Yeah, for two big epic guys. So
big guys
are big.
Yeah, they're both. You saw Sprague in the very first fight, and so that was Sprague. And this is Graham. He's again one of our younger fighters. Again, another big guy that kind of was a power hitter. Again, he's graduating and he's beginning to understand. I don't have to smack the saber completely and totally out of your hands every single time.
Right.
Well, I can. For the first month when he was in class, he had long, like blonde hair. I just knew him as the Viking.
Yep. He's totally the Viking. And today he's got it short, and but he's still every bit the Viking. And you're going to see some of this in his fight. It's fun.
Here we go.
So that I know of, I only have like a very small percentage of Viking blood in my system, but
I have 9%.
Damn, do I wish I had more sometimes.
Right.
Look at that, and that was a Graham point. He's in the red with the red saber. Sprague is with the green.
White.
Oof.
So Graham tends to actually go more for wrist, notice.
Mm-hmm. He does love those wrists.
It's good because ain't nobody going to get range on him.
Yeah.
31.
Where do you hit me?
Sound like right on your glove.
I didn't feel anything, but if you guys saw
So we normally have
I was
two
going from what I
rounds.
saw and
Of
the
course,
noise I
Robert
heard
over
was
there,
a
and then
whack
I'm
as
on the other
opposed to
side
a
behind the
clank.
camera.
I know I hit him on the glove on the inside.
We're trying to practice.
So where are you guys?
Me, but that's totally fine if you guys.
Where are you guys fighting right now? Like, where's
This
the
is-
tennis court?
Yeah, this is Penn Park. It's a public parking area, but it's got the lighted courts. Before that, we were practicing in a place called Darden Tower. They didn't have the lights, so you couldn't see anything after 9 p.m.
Yeah,
And I found this place. I'm like, oh, this is great. And very rarely are these courts filled up, which is awesome.
It's funny, like, as a lightsaber fighter, you want all the lights out, but as like somebody who's trying to put fight footage together, you need the lights on.
Yeah. Yep.
These are looks like very Form 1 on the right side, and anybody listening or watching who doesn't really follow or understand the forms, like, it's basically he looks like he's using very basic stuff, but also Form 3 would be your defense, and he seems hyper defensive.
Yeah. Well,
I wish I
Sparring
had
is
that
good.
kind of patience. Yeah, he picked that shot apart right there. I'm assuming that was his point. It looked like
Yep.
his.
Yep.
It's funny, people think defense sometimes means that you don't go for points or that you're not actually trying to hit the person. So sometimes, don't you forget, like, the best defense is a good offense, right? So
Yeah.
hitting
And
a
it is-
wrist, that's why we have that target.
Yep. And the other side of that is when you're able to defend to where you can open him up.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
that's where you can. Okay, I've defended.
We're
Boom.
One of us raised the hand on that. We're like,
He's open now, and bang, and I can use this opening because
Yeah.
I've defended to where he's overextended himself.
Well, I know you guys understand the term programming. I mean, that's a huge leap when you start to see the opponent do exactly what you just dreamed they might do and tried to make them do, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
Why is this bad?
defensively, that's exactly what you want. You want them to try and do stuff that's going to give you easy blocks, easy dodges, and sometimes easy little snippy points. So,
So I always say, if you can lead them into it, then if you know what they're going to do, you're twice as fast.
that's exactly
Look
it.
twice as fast. Even you may not be a fast
Oh,
guy,
Saber.
but if you know what you're doing, you can be there anyway.
6-all. Fight.
Yeah. I try to have that patience, but man, I'm such an impatient, like,
Uh-huh.
sniveling little fighter.
Every fight, I'm trying to be patient and trying to fight defense. You
That was
see,
nice.
I always end up on the offense.
8-6.
yeah, you got the point there. Good
Oh,
job.
okay, cool. I thought he got the point last time. I was like, wait, how?
No, I was like, that was nice.
Do appreciate that, even though, like we said in the first match, they were kind of mirroring each other a little bit, that everybody does still have their own distinctive, like Roland said, what makes them fight like them.
8-7.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's really a testament to the way you guys train and the way that Courtney's worked with you guys, because I know that, you
9.
know, you all kind of value each other's strengths and weaknesses as tools. Like, you don't have to be good at everything, but the things that you're good at and the things that you need to work on, you guys are all kind of proactive in helping each other figure that out.
Nice. Well done.
9-8. Fight.
Yeah, it's
both
good,
of
and that balance of personality. It's because again, for us, we do encourage. Like, look, you're so good at this. Bring this in, just fine tune this little bit, and that makes you better. And then and then we see something else. Oh, it's like, look, you know what? I can do this. Ha! Look, I get excited when
I think I did.
Graham scores a point on me that I wasn't expecting him to come from this angle, and I totally expected this, and but he came underneath, and what? How did he do that? I love that.
That's
You'll hear me
evident.
cheering.
That's evident just in the fact that you guys are recording these fights at all and caring enough to do these
That was perfect.
recordings and
That was
stuff.
brilliant.
Like,
Yeah.
How are you getting back into it?
just the fact that you're sharing, like, people's successes, you're trying to, like, put yourselves out there as well as other people that you're fighting against and recognizing strengths and weaknesses in both. Like that's such a huge deal that people don't get all the time.
Oh,
you know, if, like no two martial arts or Saber programs will say are created equally, but they should all have that equal motive of trying to help each other out like that with no ego involved. I've met you guys in person once. I wish it was like 20 times. But
on that note, are you gonna come down to the tournament?
You guys. Oh, okay. All right. So I don't want to belabor this. That my sister-in-law is getting married that day.
All right,
so
that's probably more important.
So I'm thinking I might like take my AirPods in my suit and tune in while like they're talking about stuff I don't care about. But sorry, Emily, if you're listening, you're gonna look beautiful. You're gonna have an amazing day. Spencer's such a great guy. Anyway, so I won't be there in person, but I know I have at least one student who is looking to participate.
Nice.
If his Saber doesn't come in time, he's going to go down and at least watch and meet you guys.
Don't worry about the Saber. I've got extras. But tell
I
him to
did
go
tell
ahead
him
and
that.
get in there and like
yeah.
get it in because there's only 5 spots left right now.
That's exactly what I told him, and he seems real stoked on it. And I'm glad that you just said that because I told him that you guys were all sort of like open arm type individuals.
Bring it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know he's
plenty.
probably coming, and there are 2 other students of mine that showed a little interest.
Okay.
So I'm going to see what their availability is. But yeah, I'm so mad. I know Kyle from Key Sabers. I know he's going to come try and hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this. So maybe we just keep it between ourselves and the whole internet.
Right.
But I think
We're not gonna tell anybody.
Alan from Phoenix is going to try and come out.
Yeah, we were chatting with him last week, trying to get him to come down. So that'd be awesome.
He told me the
I
other
want to
day
fight
that
him.
he's in talks to do so. Oh, Alan's the greatest person to fight against because he doesn't care about anything but laughing. Like he's just going to make you laugh the whole time you fight him. Yeah, it's my favorite. One of my favorite people in the world to fight.
Right.
So actually, I want people to know that I will fight anybody.
I'll tell you.
Not like Conor McGregor being like, I'll fight anybody. No, like I'll fight anybody because that's the best way to shake hands in the Saber community.
I'm with you too, and I want to fight everybody. I tell you, there's one I really want to fight. So I was watching a video from the Penguin Saber Academy, and this guy Jason they have is gonna. He's gonna be a phenomenal fighter, and I want to fight him. The speed that guy has is insane.
He was really good. We just broadcasted a podcast with that footage, or I think it might be that footage. I don't know if it was the same one because I know they've done a bunch, but man, he was cool to watch. And I told Nick the same thing on the show. Yeah, I feel like I really want to fight him now. So anyway, what's up next? Ryan's up again and Robert.
I think this is going to be an exotics match. This is probably crossguard versus full wield.
Cool.
Let's see what we got.
Cool.
And fight.
Yep.
Oh, Robert's dual wield. Oh, reverse ice pick grip. Versus his crossguard. Ryan's crossguard.
I like to fight in that configuration when I do Jarkai, but it comes from my training with Native American weapons and some of the Filipino stuff with the smaller knives and things.
Yes.
But it also comes from my training with Sword and Shield because it's not a perfect proxy. Obviously, it's a straight line versus a giant circle or rectangle or something. But you can use that offhand ice pick like a shield and use your strong side as like a short sword or spear to just go for the quick stabs and cuts. But don't just like go in there. Like if you're in a tournament and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to try this for the first time. Like that's ill-advised. That's ill-advised. I would say a setting like this where you're having fun, you're in practice, that's the time to not care what people tell you about reverse grip and just go for it.
Oh boy. 4-1.
Same with cross guards. I know they're like sort of chagrined around the community to a large degree, or people love them. I don't care. I like all lightsabers. I want all lightsabers to play in the sandbox.
This fight is the first time I've ever fought with a crossbow.
That was crossguard.
So is that a new saber for you, or is that
It
someone
is.
else's?
I just picked it up. It's from Mando Corps.
Okay.
Jason Hayden, and it is so light. It's insane. So it feels just like having almost a persuader in my hand with that big ass sword. So
Well, I
very
see
nice.
that you're using a pretty long blade, but that you're able to use it one-handed pretty technically. So you might have my interest now.
Mando
It's a
Corps.
very nice weapon.
I just got my first 2 key sabers. Very impressed with that. But I have heard actually from Kyle that Mando Corps makes some pretty good stuff. So
Yep. I just put in an order for another Slayer.
did you? I really like the Slayer, man. I can't decide which of the 2 I like better, but who cares if you're
No.
dual wielding? You know what I mean? You just
Right.
you just have fun
Most
with
of
that.
my sabers tend to be black and gold in
7-2.
color.
Fight
and
ready.
The Slayer I
Fight.
have right now is actually it changes color. It goes from green to kind of gold. I wanted to pick up a black
cool.
one too, and I've got that order in now.
7-3. Fighters ready. Fight.
The saber quality just across the board, even some of the ones that turn into paperweights in like a month, they still are a far cry from the old modded master replicas and the mag lights and stuff
Yes.
like that.
My hand.
You
For
know,
me, the
It's just
sabers
amazing.
and the Mando cores,
He was on 7.
there are absolutely
7-4. Fighters
insane.
ready. Fight.
I couldn't find a better
well,
fighting saber.
you're talking about a different class of lightsaber too, of LED saber, if we're going to
Oh,
use the Earthling term. You're talking about like something that's meant for
Right.
martial arts and sport, not something that's meant for cosplay, choreography, or just looking beautiful.
Yep.
You know, and unfortunately, some of the companies, and I don't really think it's their fault. I think it's just what fan base knows about martial arts versus what they know about Star Wars is a huge difference.
Yep.
I think they try and cater to both, and I think you need to. A lot of those sabersmiths who make really good combat sabers will tell you that if you want to fight with a movie hilt, it's just a bad idea.
Oh,
You're
no,
just
no, please don't.
you're just making the wrong choice.
Yep.
You know. I've got beautiful sabers that I use when I have like something awesome to do,
Break.
and I want something beautiful on my belt. But practicality
ready.
and not breaking are the two
Yeah.
things that are most important.
That's the thing.
And
is
then
that,
price.
That again, are you going to have something that you can fight with, or do you want a wall hanger? You know, and
Yeah.
again, there's nothing wrong with one of the most beautiful having them one of the most beautiful sabers out there that you can't really
Right.
quote unquote use. But that comes too with I think it's also important for the saber maker to sort of educate the consumer on, okay, look, this is a really great saber, but it's not the best for fighting with. You really need something that's going to be able to hold up, and this is not going to be that saber for that. So
I feel kind of bad. We didn't even really talk about like exotic fighting or that.
It was
fight
much more
particular-
Form 5e out of me.
right, but there's some
But
really good.
that's the
movements
sword
and-
you're using too. You know,
Exactly.
that's the saber you're using. If there's an argument to be made for crossguard, it's Form 2.5.
Yep, and Andy did really well with it, and I tell you, there was some of those movements were really great to see. So that was a really nice fight.
Mm-hmm. And what do we got? What do we got next?
I'm going to go ahead and
Is that
stop
it?
this.
Yep, we're going
recording.
to stop this one right now. So thank you for joining us, and we're going to see if we can get you in on the next one too, a little bit longer. Fight Night 21, and for the rest of you. Yep,
Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted.
it's okay.
I'm having an issue.